In this video, we'll be covering the walkthrough for the second of our two identity and access management labs on instance profiles. The first goal we had for this lab was to create an instance profile giving the EC2 service administrator privileges. So the way I'm going to do that is click IAM here on the dashboard. And then I want to create an instance profile for EC2 service. So I'm going to do that through the roles dashboard. Next, I'm going to create a role. And then for the trusted entity, because we want the EC2 service to be able to assume this role, that's what I'm going to choose. So EC2 will be the trusted entity for this role. Next, permissions. So the goal was to create an instance profile giving the EC2 service administrator privileges. So at the very top of our list of managed policies, I'm going to click the administrator access policy, which once again gives a trusted entity the allow effect for the action of anything to the resource of anything. So with that selected, let's click review. And for the role name, I'll give it full EC2, and I'll create that role. And of course, one of the things that happens behind the scenes when you create a role and give it the trusted entity of EC2 is that it will also create an instance profile for the EC2 to assume. The next goal in this lab was to create an instance using the Amazon Linux 2 AMI and give it the instance profile that we just created. So we'll do that through the EC2 dashboard. I'm going to launch an instance, and then per the lab, I'm going to select the Amazon Linux 2 AMI. Of course, free tier eligible is always good. And then for networking, we don't have any subnet requirements for this lab, so the default is going to be just fine. Now, if we wanted to, then we could use this page here to give the EC2 instance that full EC2 role that we created a moment ago. But I don't want to do that just yet. I want to see what it looks like in the instance when I try to run that CLI command without applying this role first. So we're going to skip this for now and apply the role in just a moment. Default storage is fine. And of course, I like my tags, so I'm going to choose something here. And we'll go with, let's see, IAM lab instance. Next, for security group. Of course, the only thing I need to be able to do is SSH into my instance, and I think I have a security group for that already. And I do. If you'll recall, in a previous lab video, we created a security group that, among port 80 and port 443 access, also allows SSH access from my IP address. I really don't care about the HTTP and HTTPS access, so this is going to be fine for now. I'll just stick with this security group, and I'll review and launch the instance. As always, for the key pair, I'm going to use my temporary key pair here. And that's it. I'll go to instances, and this is going to take just a minute to instantiate, so I'm going to place this video on a brief pause. And it looks like my Identity and Access Management Lab instance is ready. So, as always, I'm going to open the Connect module and try to connect. And there we go. So recall that we haven't given the EC2 instance that instance profile that we set up just yet, so we fully expect this to fail. But I want to see what it looks like when I do that. It looks like it wants us to configure so that it knows what region we're trying to operate in. So I'm going to skip the access and secret key, and give it the region that I'm in, which is US East 1. And I'll try that again. There we go. Unable to locate credentials. So one of the things the instance profile will give our EC2 instance is a set of credentials. So right now, we can't activate the CLI. We need those credentials first. Let's go ahead and grab those by attaching the role to the instance. So with the instance selected, I'm going to go to Actions, Settings, and attach or replace IAM role. Then I'll find the role that I created, which is full EC2, and apply it. And that should be all I need to do. So if I go back here and try the same command, I expect it to work this time. And there you go. It's returned a list of all of the instances I have in that region, which means we did successfully give this EC2 the instance profile giving full EC2 access. And that's all there is to it for this lab. So if all of that makes sense, feel free to move on.